Hi friends, you've learned a lot about God and you continue to learn more about Him every time you open your Bible, come to church, and pray. But this amazing, wonderful, all-powerful God of ours can feel far away sometimes. We can't see Him, we can't have dinner with Him, we can't talk to Him like we can our friends and family members. There are times in our lives where we can feel so close to God. We can feel His love so real, but then other times He can feel very far away. In the book of Mark, 3 of Jesus' disciples get to feel the power and love of God very close. They are with Jesus on a mountaintop when He transforms. His clothes become a dazzling white, and then He talks with Elijah and Moses, who are no longer living at the time. Then God appears as a cloud and speaks to the disciples. You can't get any closer to God than that. Those 3 disciples witnessed God in a very real and close way. I want to share my own mountaintop moment with you today. I traveled to France with Mr. Nathan to visit his parents about a year after my father passed away. That year had been really hard, and I missed my father greatly. I still do. One of the evenings of our trip, we visited an old church nearby his parents' house called St. Barb. Now, this church is very cool. It was carved out of the side of a cliff. So when you park your car and walk towards the church, you can't see it until you look over the edge of the cliff. It was late, and we ended up being the only people exploring because it was about to close for the night. Mr. Nathan and his parents headed back to the car, but I stayed back to snap a picture of a beautiful old cross in the sunset. At that very moment I took the picture, the wind picked up and all of the trees surrounding the cross started to rustle. Suddenly, I heard my father's voice telling me that everything was okay and to be happy. I knew it wasn't actually my dad talking. It was God using my father's voice. I felt such peace at that moment. I just stood there and let it flow all around me. After a few minutes, I headed back to the car, knowing my life had changed in that mountaintop moment. We visited that same church 2 other times since, but both times there were children running around, people laughing and talking, and lots of activity. I haven't had a repeat of my mountaintop moment there, and that's okay. God knew I needed Him to be very close to me on that day, and I heard Him. Remembering that moment has helped me so many times when God has felt far away from me. I bet those 3 disciples who had that mountaintop moment with God used it to help them too when they were struggling. Those mountaintop moments might happen more often for some than others, and yours might not have happened yet. But remember this, God is with you, whether you can see Him or hear Him. He is there. Don't let your mountaintop moment pass you by. Look for God, listen for Him, and when a mountaintop moment happens, cherish it. See you next week.